Do you like basketball? Basketball, no. I like, but I'm not good at. Yes, I'm not.
Me too.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the State of the League podcast.
Millennial pause. Bros rusty.
It lagged. And, I mean, are you going to edit this one?
No.
Then the pause won't even be there. Bitch ass. Oh, my God.
Actually, I might have some time on my hands.
But now you reference a pause, you got to keep it for continuity.
Oh, my God. Yeah. What the fuck was I even going to say? I was
Something about basketball, probably.
The only NBA podcast that kills you 1 week after you listen to it. We're like The Ring. Yeah.
Is that true? What about us? What happened? Are we immune?
Yeah, we do the killing, I think.
Okay, it's all right. Is Isaac immune because he's on right now, or is he? What
That's the real question. Am I immune? If I'm not the killer or the ones watching, where do I land in this gray area?
For this, you can listen to this episode and live.
Okay.
But the rest,
don't tune in next week.
Don't tune in next week, guys.
It's a great long-term strategy.
And we're saying the winning Powerball.
Watch once or die.
Did anyone win yet or no? Still.
No. Hilarious story though. My dad, I gave him a phone call the other day. He got some steaks for dinner, right? And he like seasoned them up and left them on the counter. He was about to cook them, and his dumbass, he went, "Oh, I haven't bought a Powerball ticket today. I better go grab one real quick." And he left, and my dogs ate the steaks off the counter. And
damn.
So, it's like,
no billions and no steaks?
I guess. Like, it's just like the ultimate stupid decision is like, whoa, I'm going to win the lottery and I'm going to eat my steaks. And then he comes home and you don't get anything.
That's white culture, dude. They say it doesn't exist, but that is it.
Oh my God. Today we have the beautiful, the magnanimous, this pretty smart Isaac Gutierrez on from the Deep 3 podcast and some other stuff. You did an NFL podcast this morning, right?
I did, yeah. Week 1 just happened. Long day going on, but I'm glad to have some reprieve, talk about the Lakers. Hasn't been much. Nobody's asked me to talk about basketball in about 2.5 months. So it was a nice text to receive. Like, wow, people do still care about the NBA. That's nice.
I know. I mean, not that many. I'm sure if we quantify what NFL pods are doing right now versus our average number, we're probably in the gutter a little bit. But
yeah, the off season's insane. It's just the most dead off season in a long time. You can just you witness it by just looking at viewership numbers, like you said. I'm like, damn, I can't wait till people care again.
Damn, I know. Like, the kind of I see 10 posts because the Redeem team made the Hall of Fame, and it's like, okay, guys,
hey, we got some Eurobasket stuff going on now. What happened? Is Jokic a fraud? Did he get eliminated?
Yeah, he's fat. God, he got mugged by Lowry. I can't believe it.
I heard Luka is skinny, but still slow.
Oh,
I mean, that's not that.
But he destroyed Israel, didn't he? And he was like pooping during the national anthem. What's more likely? So, guys, was it genuine? Where was he? Because if he is skinny, he's probably pooping more. So it could be a genuine poop, but who knows?
His bowel movement is healthier.
Nice. Yeah, him and Giannis both freaking metaphorically nuked Israel on the basketball court. Nuked Israel. And then Jokic lost to Finland. That pissed me off because all their good players got hurt, and so everyone was like, "Oh, it's
Serbia
it's the biggest."
Or Finland?
Serbia. Well, I don't know about all. They still had fucking Jokic, obviously, so it's an embarrassment. But
wait, who was hurt though? Was Bogdan hurt or something?
I think it's Bogdan and Jovic. All I know is they had Teodosic running too much point guard. Oh my God!
This is the most coverage I've heard of Eurobasket so far.
Yeah.
Wait, Teodosic is still playing?
Yeah, he's playing for Serbia, and he can't
How
dribble.
How old is he? Is he 47?
I don't think so.
I don't know if they have a cornucopia of other NBA level guards to come replace him. He might be playing until he's 60.
Oh my God! But yeah, so they had just lost to Turkey, and so it was like clearly this is a fallible team, and then they come out and lose, and everyone's like, "Yep, This was literally the biggest upset in the history of sports. Holy shit. So, whatever. I'm coping. Serbia lost. I don't really feel that much kinship with Serbia as an international team compared to some of these other freaks online that root for the Nuggets, but it was still disappointing nonetheless. But we're not here to talk about the Nuggets.
Bro,
We're
Teodosic is only 38. God, it's the European aging. He's got to be smoking cigs on the sidelines.
Some black and milds.
I swear, I would have sworn to God this guy was 50 and retired 7 years ago.
Before we get to talk about the Lakers and everything, like doing what I'm here for, there is one thing I want to talk about. One thing I want to address.
What you
Pablo.
got?
I'm just wondering how you're taking the news, how you're like absorbing the fact that there's another Pablo in the NBA space right now, currently making a name for himself, currently dominating the headlines. What are you prepared to do about it?
There's room for both of us because we both do journalism and we're both we both uncover a lot of different secrets, and so I think I'm wondering, can you only do real NBA journalism if you go by the name Pablo? Because there's really only two guys making waves in the news these days, and
That's fair.
I'm not seeing any Daves out here doing it. I'll tell you that much.
I think I agree with you. You both are real journalists. Disagree. There's room for both of you.
Oh shoot!
Almost feel like one kind of has to die.
Pablo Tory must. I'm killing Pablo Escobar, actually. Probably bigger contributions to the journalism space from
Well,
Mr.
all
Tory.
right, hold on. Well, hold on. What positive change has Pablo Tory brought? Because I mean, he pocket watched Kawhi. Okay, that didn't save anyone's life.
Oh,
He
he's
got a young woman
snitching.
harassed.
He got
What?
who harassed?
A young woman just trying to find love harassed.
Who's that?
Bill Belichick's girlfriend.
Oh yes, he
God.
tore down an aspiring young girl boss. He put the spotlight on her.
He burned down a happy home.
Exactly.
My
I mean,
goodness.
maybe he is doing more bad than good. I don't know.
Oh God.
And
That would be
what
sick,
a
because he seems like the kind of guy, like, he's very tapped into what people are saying about him online. So I'm sure if we did a full episode just being like all of his journalism, it's real journalism. It's just destructive. He's just the most negative voice in sports right now.
what is the most impact I've had? Honestly, what comes to mind for me is destruction as well, or because I am the reason Jordan Love got that Toyota sponsorship, which I hate. He probably made like $30,000 or something like that. I don't know. I you know what? I shed a light on Bryce Sensabaugh, which is activism. And
You did. I don't know if I would really like. I would know his name as an NBA fan. I'm not sure I would know a defining part of his game if it wasn't for your existence in this world.
you wouldn't know he's the greatest mid-range shooting prospect in
I certainly wouldn't know that.
And an elite three-point shooting prospect who's unbothered by closeouts. And guys, people are catching on. People are talking about Bryce Sensabaugh independent of me. They're saying he's primed for a big summer. So maybe he'll come up in this Lakers episode. Maybe, I don't know.
But
I think we should lay the groundwork now. He needs to come up in this episode.
Well,
Mandate.
the thing about the Lakers is you get a jersey swap of every player, and so people are like, oh, Jokic to the Lakers, Giannis to the Lakers. Not that many people are tapped into Bryce to the Lakers. It could be a big move.
Wait,
Lack of ball knowers.
Who'd the Lakers take in 2023? Is that Connect, or is he?
That was 2024. 23 must have been Shafino.
Oh my God, that's gonna look so bad when they're like, bro, Bryce went 28 and they took Shafino. What did he go? Was he like 15?
19 or 15. 19 or 17. One of those.
Honestly, that was a bad. I was not a Shafino guy at all as a prospect.
Yeah, it wasn't great. A couple years, I was like, he hasn't played yet. We don't really know if he's good or not. Give him a chance. And then like 3 years went by, he just never played. So I'm like, okay, so maybe he just fucking sucks and they don't want to play him.
You know what? Connecting to Bryce, I think he beat him for Big Ten Rookie of the Year or Freshman of the Year, which is ridiculous. He wasn't even better than him in Indiana. Oh my God, I hate Jalen Hood-Schifino now. Guys, comment some Jalen Hood-Schifino hate down in the comments.
Tell me the worst thing about Jalen Hood-Schifino.
And tag
Guys,
him online and then tag Isaac and say, Isaac said this about you.
It was guys, comment your favorite Jalen Hood-Schifino play down below, and then turn off the comments, and they can't.
Oh, nice.
Suits.
Yeah, God. So yeah, Bryce. I mean, we are 10 minutes in, and we've got 3 minutes of Bryce Sensabaugh talk. That's beautiful. That's lovely. I'm sure we'll get a little bit more as the
3
episode.
minutes of plotting on Pablo Tory.
Nice. Hey, we could go more on that. It's something. He's got something. He's got something.
Well, he went to Yale. He was probably. Let's check his.
He went to
Harvard.
Harvard.
Is he
Yeah.
Zuckerberg age?
You know how the Ivy graduates get. You can't mess it up.
Oh, that's true. And I bet he's like.
They'll cry.
I bet he's like, oh, the pizza at this place, and it's I'm in Suits, right?
Nice, exactly.
I don't. I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know what the fuck.
You never
this
seen
guy's
Suits?
talking
No,
about.
I haven't seen it either. I didn't get the reference.
Oh. So you're talking about the guy with the photographic memory in? Okay.
What if I told you I consume knowledge at an unbelievable rate?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is sick, guys. You've probably seen this show in 30-second increments on TikTok in like hype edits and
legit.
stuff.
I think, or no, is it TikTok? No, it's Netflix. Netflix Suits was so popular on Netflix it brought it back. They're like, Jesus Christ, people love rewatching Suits. We should make new Suits. And then they made Suits LA and it got canceled after one season. But it starred Victoria Justice. So not her fault though. Chill.
And Stephen Amell, one of the worst actors in TV.
Who's Stephen Amell?
He's on Arrow. Notable scab during the actor strike.
Oh,
He was like, "Come on, guys, we all need to get to work."
Hell yeah! Hey, that's so funny. All I remember from the actor strike is there was a guy on TikTok who like
Straw Hat Goofy.
Like no, this was like it was a guy who looked like the kid from Vine.
Oh,
who
we
did
talked
the
about
blocking
this guy.
out the haters, who is apparently a trans woman now. So based for that, I guess. But
okay.
this guy who's not a trans woman and is a scab, he like came on TikTok and he was like, "Guys, I just got a TV deal. My dreams are coming true." And everyone was like, "Yo, like it's very actively a strike right now. What are you doing?" That's the only reason.
He thought his life was changed. They gave the good news to everybody, and they're read the room, moron.
What if we do a
He's
strike?
not even in a guild. He's just a guy.
What if we do a strike on breaking news and then Pablo Tory crosses the picket lines and then we pwn him? That could be the move.
Yep. Supposedly woke journalist crosses picket line. Wow, pretty interesting, guys.
Wow.
Oh man. Okay. So we're doing a Lakers preview. I have 5 questions. I was gonna ask 5 standard questions to every preview that we do, but I think I'll probably these questions don't really apply to like dog shit teams, so I'll tweak them.
Nice.
For like contenders and stuff. We can keep them relatively the same, but for that Hornets episode, maybe we can change stuff a little bit.
Hey, you're not using the contender questions for this episode, are you?
Yeah.
Got him.
Guys, comment down below.
Deandre, you suck.
Hey, we'll see. I got some stats, You could he's
okay.
good, he's bad, So the first question, Isaac, I have for you. It's a little recap of last season. Were you happy with how the Lakers season went last year? 24-25 Los Angeles Lakers season. Were you happy overall?
Hard question. Lots of pros and cons. On the pro side, I did get Luka Doncic. On the con side,
he's fat. He was. We don't know anymore.
You're right. Yeah, I forgot about that. I think last season was a great season. Nothing mattered outside of the fact that I got Luka Doncic in my life. I got my sweet baby boy, my favorite player outside of Jokic, a big Euro guy. Got him on my team. So, not great how the playoffs went, but pretty much nothing matters aside from the fact that he is now on my team for the foreseeable future. So, all of the context aside, last year was a resounding win.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of... I was looking, because, like, a normal season, it would have been frustrating. Like, the playoffs did kind of suck, and, like, things got weird at the end, but then you take a step back, and it's like, nah, it's still pretty great. Because
it got real weird. There's, like, allegations of Luka being washed. LeBron looks a couple steps slower. Now he's, like, beefing with the front office, yada, yada. All these things that could be considered stress, could be considered negatives on a fan base. Doesn't matter. I got Luka Doncic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pablo, what do you think?
I mean, yeah. I mean, once you get Luka, it's easy to say, bro, the rest of this is not canon. Come on, LeBron's a dinosaur. He's not gonna be around here. And also,
it's a gap year.
I'm just now remembering the Lakers sold at the end of last season, right? Do we have any indication on how that's going to affect the team? Is that good? Is that bad? Because I know the buses are kind of like a rinky-dink operation.
Yeah, they were very much a mom and pop shop that they're lucky they wear gold and purple for the past decade, because ever since the kids took over, they have been cheap-ass mom and pop shop that don't have the built-up front office, don't have money put in certain areas that help teams around the edges. They're the inverse of Bomber in many, many ways that money is a part of, because they're not the most loaded family. So it's a great thing. I'm glad you mentioned that. I got Luka. I got the richest owner in the sport aside of Bomber. That's why fucking fantastic.
Oh, is he really?
I think,
what does he do?
Yeah. He owns the Dodgers.
Oh.
The most rated team.
Oh shoot! What if you do you think you're gonna go? Do you ever see Bill Simmons tweets because about the Red Sox and Liverpool, because the same guy owns both? So every time there's a big Liverpool like transfer, like $130 million for Isak or something, Bill Simmons will like quote tweet and be like, wonder we couldn't sign a reliever. He's like, this came out of my Mookie Betts budget, so you're gonna be looking like 10 years from now.
What I'm gonna do is
you'll be like, oh shoot, those Ohtani payments are coming in now. I wonder, are we gonna have to move off of Luka?
No, I'm gonna start picketing Adam Silver every All-Star weekend. I'm gonna make sure that I find him wherever he's at, whatever city, and I'm gonna start creating the narrative that we need to abolish the salary cap and let free market capitalism win, so my rich owner can go out and spend money like he does in the Dodgers.
Oh, we lagged for a second. Are we back?
Can everyone?
Back?
I think we're back.
Okay.
We didn't really go anywhere, but yeah, I think we're back right now. Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people about that. I have one guy in my comments who just constantly goes, "Yeah, salary cap's anti-worker. I need this shit dissolved immediately." Salary cap's and I'm like, dude, like, I guess from like a practical standpoint, sure, but like there has to be something in place. Otherwise,
it's the same with the draft. It's like, okay, it's all right. I guess I'm not woke on this one.
No, I'm full on. Yeah. I'm a Reagan voter with the draft. People are like, they should be allowed to pick where they want to go, and I'm like, you go where you're told, pal.
Yeah, but report for duty, pal.
You turned into a Southern football coach.
Oh my fucking god!
Yeah, apparently Jeannie Buss is going to be in control as the governor of the team in terms of day-to-day operations and whatnot for the next 5 years or something like that, which is the same thing they always say. So at this point, we're just crossing our fingers, hoping that it's some fake bullshit and this guy comes in and waves his money around and gets what he wants.
So far, it has happened twice, and it happened with the Mavericks, and then Cuban's like, "Oh shoot, I'm not in charge anymore." Happened with the Celtics. Wick Grosbeck is like, "Oh, I'm not in charge anymore." So we're 0 for 2 on the slow transfer of power.
Mm-hmm. They're like preseason press conference. The guy's just next to Jeannie Buss at the table, being like, "She's just yapping. She's just yapping, guys. I think we all know who's really pulling the strings here."
He just shakes his head no every time silently when she says something.
Oh my god. Yeah, and so I don't know. I had some shit written down about the playoffs because it was kind of funky, but like. Let me ask the second question here then, because it all.
You can also get serious with the first question if you want. I think on the JJ Redick side is worth considering for the first part of did I enjoy last season outside of again Luka Doncic. I guess we can get more specific with the preview episode. JJ Redick was like a pretty mixed bag for most of the year. I think for about 80% of the year I was very happy with him. I was like, this is coming to be an elite coach one day. I'm not gonna come out here and say he's top 10 now, but I think he has some traits that will be a defining element of a top tier coach. Mostly the defensive game plans they do and the way they found a way to make a defense anchor by Jackson Hayes performing at a high level post-trade. That was kind of a coaching miracle that they had a good enough defense for the 3 weeks after the deadline that I convinced myself that a run was possible. Because, when the trade happened, everyone was like, oh, incomplete team. No bigs. They don't have a chance. Gap year. We had a month of good enough defense with Jackson Hayes. I'm like, the Luka effect is crazy. He makes everybody good, even defensively. He saved Jackson Hayes. He's like God. Turns out that was just, a crazy gimmick defense where they left shooters open every single play and just really heavily rotated to protect Jackson Hayes. It was insane gimmick that worked for a while. Eventually, the luck ran out. So I will say there's those strengths that went well. Big learning curves in the playoffs, though. He had some pretty poor performances for some pretty important factors for winning playoff series.
Mm-hmm. I honestly, that's like a real testament to how crazy the Luka trade was. Is like the hiring of JJ, like the whole circus that went into, oh, LeBron's podcast co-host is going to be his guest now. Like that whole thing. It's just like, that was completely out of my mind. Like I don't even remember that being like a piece of the media anymore. So yeah, I don't know.
His house burned down too. Do you remember that?
I do. Insane. Damn. Because I always get sad when his son's like, that'd be sick to be an NBA player's kid and then have like just autographs from everybody when all that shit burned down.
I wonder if he had the real stuff there. But yeah, it was sad when his
house.
Realized
he lost all his Pokemon cards.
Oh shoot! He had his collection. Guys, official stance. It was sad when JJ's house burned down. It was epic when Jamie Lee Curtis's house burned down.
Can you guys hear this fucking truck outside?
Yeah, but it's ambiance, dude. It's
well,
it's
that's
like
what I'm saying. It's like
we're in the city.
What's your favorite character in this podcast right now?
Oh, probably the city of DC.
The city of Washington. DC.
Are there any National Guard members by you?
Yeah, they're beating the
apparently
shit.
They're by me in Chicago.
Yeah. They're splitting up right now.
Yeah, they're on the way to me. They're coming to find my ass. Ask me about papers.
Oh my god. Damn. Pablo, Tory, can we get some reporting on this, please? I thought you were supposed to be woke.
No. Pablo, Tory. Is Isaac Gutierrez, does he need his citizenship investigated? Now, that would be combative reporting.
Yeah. And so, the JJ Redick shit was crazy. I'm cool, kind of, just, like, looking at the roster. I'm always going to give him a little more wiggle room on like the way the defense kind of fell apart down the stretch, just because like very undermanned when you look at like athleticism or really any of like the key stuff that makes a defense. It was insane that they were able to do that for so long because they had none of like the actual ingredients for a good defense, and so to even get like one good month out of it was insane.
Yeah, leading into the playoffs, I had kind of, like specifically with the first round against the Timberwolves, I had convinced myself, because I finally allowed myself to consume the hopium with the Luka stuff, and I was like, you know what? They are a complete team. They can catch some people by surprise. So I kind of convinced myself they could win, even though I knew full well they had nobody that could box out Rudy Gobert, no one that could jump with Jaden McDaniels, no one that can stay in front of Anthony Edwards, don't have the shooters to keep up with the bench shooters of the Timberwolves, all this stuff that as soon as one game happened, it's like, oh yeah, okay, so miracles end. There's a certain level of talent they just don't have that. It became immediately clear they just don't have the requisite talent. So I just completely got detached. I was like, well, it's fine. They just aren't good enough, and they never were.
Oh, they never were. That's nice. Because, based now, but, like, some of the shit that was going around, like, 3 weeks into the Luka trade, I do remember just being like, bro, I didn't want to like dig my heels in on like a full anti-Lakers stance because that like comes with like a whole thing online. But like looking around, I was like, if they make a run, like that would be the most improbable shit I could imagine. And so I think the game 5, I don't remember. Gobert had like 25 and 20 to end the series, and I feel like that was kind of a good, just a good representation of like where the Lakers were kind of at by the end of everything, because it just kind of steamrolled. Like all of their weaknesses in terms of like engagement on the glass and everything just kind of built on each other to the extent where it was like, okay, another putback dunk for Gobert. Well, we can't do anything about that. And so, I think they did get some off-season additions that maybe will help shit out in that regard. And I think, I don't know, the Wolves, they're a pretty good team. Were you comfortable with like where the Lakers were at last season? Do you feel like they competed well enough in the playoffs, or were you kind of disappointed to lose in 5? Just given, hey, we got Luka, we got LeBron. Like even though we have holes in the roster, there's a baseline level of talent here. Maybe we should have done better.
No, I was fully comfortable. Like as soon as game 1 happened, I was like, okay, yeah, they're clearly gonna lose. Like I remember we did our preview episode, and like I just allowed myself to be a fan and like convince myself the Lakers are going to win and like lay out the arguments. When I laid out both, I was like, here's X, Y, and Z on why the Timberwolves could beat the shit out of them. They don't have anybody for this, anybody for that, and so on. And then I was like, but also Luke was really cool. And also they got the best 2 players in the series, all this bullshit. So like as soon as it happened, I was like, yeah, the things I laid out as like, but maybe this will happen for the Timberwolves was really like my true feelings of like what's gonna happen. So as soon as I like lost the hopium and lost the amazing moment of the Luka weird run going to the playoffs, as soon as I was stripped away, I didn't feel any type of disappointment just because it was so apparent from game 1 that they just can't keep up physically.
Yeah, it was a pretty extreme matchup. I remember before going into it, it was very much like clash of styles. One of these is probably going to overwhelm the other, but we don't quite know for certain which one it's going to be. And it's the type of thing that could look like you could look back in hindsight and be like for if they just pulled out Gobert, if Gobert just got cooked out on the perimeter by Reeves, LeBron, and Luka all series, we'd be like, well, duh, that was going to happen. And then vice versa, when Gobert's dropping 20 and 20, it's like, duh, they're playing fraud Hayes at center. So
by the end of it, they weren't even playing him. It was like, like straight up it was like Hachimura and LeBron
from the start of it. From the start of it, they played Jackson Hayes like 3 minutes a game, and he got in there and he got like 2 fouls in 3 minutes, and then every game JJ Redick was like, "Glue your ass to the bench, idiot," and didn't give him a single chance. And part of the reason, like the argument for them being able to stand a chance, was in that run leading up to the playoffs, they legitimately did a really good job against big teams with the DFS and Rui front court. Their issue was never can they hang with the big teams. It was in this whole weird thing of starting 3 power forwards. They kind of did a decent job of just collectively boxing out, and like the rim protection wasn't a huge issue. It was can they stay in front of small guards because they have no backline help, and that was the main thing. Like they had no way to rotate on Anthony Edwards, and they kind of just got worn down. So by the time it got to Game 5, and they had to just fight for every single rotation, then the big man stuff with Gobert became an issue when he turned to Hakeem Olajuwon. But for the first few games, it was kind of going as you expected. The small ball stuff was working. They just got worn down, and eventually you can't do that for 6 nights and 10 days or whatever it was.
Yeah, 6-7 nights.
Fuck. You also caught some tough. Looking back at the stats, I was blown away how well Jaden McDaniels played in that series. Like there was 2 games where he had I think he had 30 in game 1 and 25 in game 3, and that was also just like representative, like kind of the lack of the in between size and the athleticism and stuff, and just this like I don't know. To me, he's not somebody that if like I want to be a contender, I don't want Jaden McDaniels to feel comfortable against like my 3rd best defender. And it felt like that was how the series worked out a lot. It's like going back and watching some of these games where he's like, Austin Reeves is on me? Okay, all right. And then just like one shoulder and like a good look or free throws or whatever. And so, yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. Like the series was obviously a very incomplete team, and so now that they've kind of had this offseason to somewhat adjust, they lost some guys, they gained some new guys. I'm curious what the vibes are with you right now. Will this season be any different from last year? If so, why?
Well, Luka Doncic will not be acquired halfway through the season, and they will have a center not named Jackson Hayes. So it will be entirely different from last year on the surface level. And I guess even just like, is it different materially, the team from it was end of last year going into the playoffs? I think, yeah. I think you use the word incomplete is the best way to phrase it. This roster still isn't like amazing. Like, I don't think they'll be the 1 or 2 seed. But it's a complete roster in terms of they have big men, they have small men, they have in between men. They check the boxes you need to have like competent team building around a Luka LeBron duo. So I just think we'll have a more normal team, and we'll have a more normal gauge of what the team's weaknesses are, because They might still have rim protection issues. Maybe Deandre Ayton isn't going to come out here and block shots left and right and be the anchor of a great defense. We'll have a better idea of how real that is and how portable it is to the playoffs, just because of the gimmick defense of last year. Like, they were a good rim defense in a way that, looking back, was clearly unsustainable. Whether it's good or bad, we'll know if it's sustainable or not, because it'll be a lot more traditional.
Pablo, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good sign that they had all these little spurts of being good defensively, which was fueled mostly by JJ's like schemes. Like even in the Timberwolves series, they had that little moment where it's like we're blending zone and man defense, and Anthony Edwards can't figure this out, and then he figured it out, and he like shredded them. And so you got to think like he was maxing out the personnel that he had, and so with good personnel, it's probably a lot easier. So whether DeAndre Ayton tries, I don't know. There's no way to know. But as for the rest of this roster, honestly, I still think they're in a bad spot. I think I'm kind of at the point where, because I'm anti-small guard, and usually 6'5" is where I draw the line. I'm like 6'5", you could stay on the floor, but Austin Reeves is not that great defensively, and I do question, can you have Austin Reeves and Luka, and especially not have a legit rim protecting center? And so I do, as this team stands, I do think they're better, but I don't think the result would be much different unless Kleber is 100%. But I don't think he is.
I think they could be the 3 seed in a regular season. I don't know if the results will be much different when it comes to beating the best teams in the playoffs. Like, I don't know if I think they have a meaningfully better chance of beating the Thunder in a second round series. I think they're probably still, like you said, in the place they were before, in that they're just outclassed and they need to do another big move at the deadline or whatever it is for them to really have a chance. But as far as regular season success, I think they'll probably be a little bit higher than whatever the consensus is. I imagine when we get to ranking season in the preseason, people will probably project them to be like the 4 or 5 seed, maybe 6 seed for doubters. I do think they have some formulas that make the regular season a little more sustainable, just because the floor is so high with Luka. And you mentioned the spurts that they show defensively. JJ Redick is a good coach or at least his staff is. I don't know if it's necessarily him or the experienced vets he has. They did a good job with the game plans, like you mentioned. They also just effort max the team. They got ridiculous buy-in from LeBron being an old man setting the tone. We had Rui defending harder than he ever did as a Wizard. We had all these guys flying around. Even at times, even before the playoffs came around, he was too tired. Luka was defending with some effort at times, whatever that looks like for Luka Doncic, you know. But I do think that will lead to regular season success, just because they have a relatively deep roster now. Like, they're not going to be light in the regular season, whether or not guys like Marcus Smart or whoever else they're trotting out there moves you. They have bodies now, so I think a lot of bodies with a lot of effort. And I've always been a DeAndre Ayton apologist. I don't know where that is gonna net out this year. I don't know what the lengths of my apologistness will go to in terms of what it'll look like with the Lakers in year 1. But I've always been a defender of him to some extent.
We're 2 months in. Yep. Send this guy some death threats, guys. Guys, dox DeAndre Ayton, please.
I'm thinking Turkish Basketball League.
Yeah. No, it is I don't know. Like, I like them for the regular season for a few different reasons. I think there is just this cycle of anybody of the big 3, quote unquote, could miss games or rest or whatever is necessary. And as long as they're not playing like the Cavs or the Knicks or the Thunder or the Rock, if they're playing a bottom half of the conference team, very comfortable with whoever, with their chances. Even if it's just Reeves and Ayton and the rest of the guys, I really do feel like that's a team that could beat bottom feeders, much less if you have Luka or LeBron on the floor as well. And so in addition, when you talk about this newly revamped Luka Doncic, skinny Luka now or whatever, and this revenge tour, they've lit a fire under him that we constantly hear about. I do think that bodes out very well for them in the regular season. I think, you could have off shooting nights from guys. You could have bad buy-in from different guys. And some of that will just be covered up by the fact that, Luka had a 50-point triple-double or some shit. I could very much
We didn't even talk about the skinny stuff. You're right. The skinny Luka part of it all, that's obviously, funny. And to talk about it, oh, look at this guy in a magazine for doing his job and being professional. So, I haven't thought too much about that. But you are right. JJ Redick is such a chip on his shoulder, fiery type of guy in all these crazy white boy rage type of ways. So if that's brought over towards Luka, I think in his older years, LeBron has been pretty good at the team morale stuff, especially compared to early in his career when he was the best player in the world and was a dickhead if you couldn't fall in line. I think that that part of his game has kind of left in old age as he's realized he's not the guy. You know, I think he's been pretty good at pushing the message of the coach and all that small intangible leader stuff. And then obviously DeAndre Ayton is in a prove you can stay in the league or nobody believes in you type of stuff. Marcus Smart, similar way. I could definitely imagine a world in which they have this collective just ethos about them about proving the haters wrong, and they kind of get this even greater sense of buy-in because of it.
I will say, if I get one quote from them being nobody believes in us, I'm shut up. Oh my God, shut up, guys. But yeah, I don't know. When you were talking about the defense that they ran last year, it reminds. Hey, they found something with I guess that was 2 years ago when it was Hachimura at the end of the game and they had AD playing off ball. But
yeah, they had that regular season game though. They actually did the small ball stuff against him in the regular season.
That was the defense where they're like, everyone guard Jokic, don't get him the ball, and then when they pass to anyone else, run all the marathon to them. And we're just gonna do this.
This team doesn't have any other players, guys. No, there's a hack here. No one's noticed. This team has no other NBA players. No, and so. Yeah, I think there was like an unsustainability to the effort there for sure. That kind of came along with like the Luka trade happens and you could see the playoffs on the horizon already. And it's very different from what's going to be happening over the course of like an 82 game season. But I'm on the same page as both of you guys. I do think like getting that sort of production out of the defense, the personnel that he had, it's a good sign. And so I'm pretty high on them. But at the same time, yeah, I think any like real lofty postseason expectations I'm out on at this point, and I just don't know if anything that happens over the next like 5 months is gonna matter to me. Like if it's like March and they're rolling heading into the playoffs, then I could be like, okay, here we go, whatever. But like,
so what do you guys see as the biggest flaw still with the roster? Because I could sell you on Ayton. I could sell you on Marcus Smart somehow playing at league average offensively again for a few years, and all these things that are big ifs. Mm-hmm. Even if that does go well, and Marcus Smart gives him minutes, and Deandre Ayton is a capable starting center at the level of the 17th best starting center in the league or whatever, what would be the fatal flaw that you think they can't beat the Rockets or can't beat the Thunder?
Pablo, what do you think? Do you have one?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's the same as I already said. Is Reeves and Luka combination on defense? I think unless Luka takes a Trae Young type leap and becomes defensive player of the year worthy. I just think he is who he is, and he's always going to be picked on. And then Austin Reeves is the same. Like it's always going to be. You're always going to have two pressure points there, and I just lean being more of a downer for DeAndre Ayton because I don't want to get hurt. And so I just think there's too many holes in this team defensively, whereas like even though the Rockets, like they're still going to have offensive struggles with Kevin Durant, but there's very few holes that they have defensively. OKC has no holes defensively. Even Minnesota, I feel like, unless they start playing Rob, I mean they're not going to have as many holes. So the playoff defensive test, I just think they'll fail unless DeAndre Ayton. We'll have to discuss what happens if we get full Phoenix DeAndre Ayton. That could change things. Okay, but
let's talk about the sphere
concern
of possibilities of DeAndre Ayton. We got to talk about the middle case scenario, worst case scenario, best case scenario, because he can go a lot of ways.
Worst case scenario is he gets yelled at by JJ Redick. He's like, he's mean to me, and then he's just horrible.
Okay, so what are the biggest flaws of DeAndre Ayton last year, why you guys are out on him? I guess we should talk about that first and kind of like dissect it. What makes DeAndre Ayton trash?
Didn't bring a mattress until like month 5 of the season. What was he sleeping?
I didn't know that. That's a crazy red flag.
He was sleeping on an air mattress, I think. He didn't have his bed set up, and so he's like, God, I'm having back troubles. It's because of my mattress.
7-1 air mattress?
Yeah.
That is crazy. I wonder if it was a stock air, like he's just like a regular air mattress and his feet are just hanging off every night. Got iced into his driveway, doesn't care enough to get to the basketball games.
But it was hilly. It was hilly up there. That was legit.
Well, it's good that he's in California then, because there's not that much.
They
ice
don't have
anymore.
salt trucks in Portland. It's a systemic issue. It's not.
Lack of city infrastructure.
Yeah, he doesn't care enough to go to town hall and complain. Is the thing.
True.
He wasn't at those meetings being like, well, this I got in a lot of trouble at my job because you guys couldn't salt the street outside.
I got yelled at by Chauncey. Thanks a lot.
Police report made a funny graphic about me and everybody laughed.
Oh man. Yeah, but so as far as like actual basketball goes, I feel like it's everything outside of the stuff that I know he's really good at is the stuff that I hate. So like I know he is a good rebounder, an impactful rebounder, much more impactful than anybody the Lakers had on the roster last year. And I really do believe in his ability to run a respectable two-man game with like Luka, LeBron, or Austin Reeves. I like him as a pick and pop guy. I'm excited to see him as a lob threat. I'm not as sold on that aspect of his game, but like I think he will clear Jackson Hayes in terms of like 2-man pick and roll impact or whatever. But then as far as like defensive motor, engagement, really like if it becomes like a very physical battle on the boards, like you get like a series against the Timberwolves, I would be a little bit nervous about his like engagement, or a series against the Rockets. I feel like could be even worse just because they are so like, I feel like they're throwing elbows into ribs every time you go into the paint. And so yeah, I don't know, just shit like that.
Yeah, okay, so two sides of the ball. Defensively, I don't have any real bail for him. I think it's clearly effort, like you just said, the defensive intensity, taking your foot off the gas. It doesn't take a X's and O's guru to watch him play in Portland the past 2 years and see he's not putting his best foot forward. And I think a large part of that, even going back to the Phoenix Suns, has been falling out with the coaches. Monty Williams hated his ass. He did not get along super well with Chauncey Billups either, and lost his starting job for large parts of his career there. Maybe that's a red flag. That coaches continuously say, this guy can't play for me. That part can be all true.
And Chris Paul and Devin Booker were mean to him.
Yeah, apparently Devin Booker hated him too. There's that too. So defensive side of the ball is purely wish casting. Is purely thinking that he understands the point of his career he's in. He understands that he's essentially on a 1-year deal. $8 million is not a lot of money. He wants to make more money. So I'm assuming he will try harder defensively because he understands that's what he needs to do. I'm assuming the law of contract year will continue to be undefeated. That's kind of my general mindset for the defensive side of the ball. I also assume that he knows he can't fucking embarrass himself playing next to Luka and LeBron for the Lakers. Like, I imagine he'll just fucking buckle up because he doesn't want to look like an idiot and lose even more money than he's already lost.
Yeah.
I'm kind of buying that that's going to be a real thing, that he'll try harder defensively. He'll still have his limitations. He still won't be amazing. But I do think he can be a switchable big, which JJ Redick wants. He has solid feet on the perimeter. Nothing that's going to be like top of the league or anything, but it won't be someone that the average point guard can attack. Obviously, the best ball handlers in the league can exploit that in some ways, like they do every other solid big man. But I think he can bring a little bit of value there. I do think he's a capable drop big man. I do think he's a good rebounder, like you said. Offensively is where I cast him so much bail nonstop. I think people do not realize just how bullshit the infrastructure was for a big man in Portland the past 2 years. Can you name me a single above average passer on that team? And do any of them play the point guard position?
I was coping with this earlier because I was trying to make Alex Sarr into a good player through stats, and I was like, well, he doesn't have. If you look at the percentiles of the ball handlers in Portland for Klingon, they're actually way better. But no, I mean like Simons or Shaden Sharp or I mean Scoot Henderson's like your best bet there or whatever.
Well,
but
Denny's
even
the
him,
best passer, but he can't
For
for
sure.
sure.
Denny's a very good passer, but in a like attack a closeout, keep the ball moving, run in transition type of way. He's not necessarily running pick and roll Deandre Ayton, throwing lobs, feeding him in pocket passes. You know, that's not really the way they utilize Denny, or at least until definitely not at the same time as they're utilizing Ayton. Whenever they shipped Ayton to the bench, maybe you saw more of that with Denny.
And then they got way better, and then the defense fucking skyrocketed and all that. It's a coincidence. It's a coincidence. It's my fault. Keep going. Yeah.
No, listen, if you want to get into Klingon hype, I'll be there. But I think, especially the first year. Last year was mostly the coaching thing. They just like gave up on him. It was a shit show that, like we said, mostly personality reasons that you have to just wish Cass will be better. But especially the first year and even the first half of last year, Scoot was obviously quite bad the first year. Got better second year, mostly because of his outside jump shot and his ability to slash a little bit. I don't think he was a run and pick and roll and dice people up type of passer. He did improve in many ways, but it still wasn't somebody that can reliably feed a big man. Obviously, Simon's not a particularly good passer. Shaden Sharp, I don't want to say anything mean. We can keep going down the roster. There's nobody that feeds big men well. Deandre Ayton is a very playmaker-dependent type of big. I think people kind of generally look at him on the Phoenix Suns, averaging 18, 17, whatever it was for those good years, and say, you're going to Portland. They don't have anybody good. Buckets need to be had. Surely you can scale up and score 25, right? They need people to take shots. He is not particularly effective in the one-on-one face up, get a bucket type of things that he wants to do, obviously. That's not his strength. He's so much better and completely needs a point guard to set him up, to do the small stuff, to finish pick and rolls, to be in position for offensive rebounds. Like, he is entirely dependent on good ecosystem around him. Otherwise, he falls into his bad habits of trying to be this face up big that he's just not. So I have a lot of faith that playing with Luka and playing with LeBron, even playing with Reeves, will be really good for his, I would say development offensively, but it's not development because he's old, but just like return to form offensively.
Young superstar Terrence Mann's going to explode this season. Something like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm high on him offensively. like high enough. I'm not like a world beater, but I think it'll be better. And I think specifically for Luka's game, it'll be great. Just because that's part of what we saw in the playoffs last year is that I hesitate to call him like role man dependent, but he's definitely more comfortable with like a serious big man setting a screen and following him to the basket and stuff. And so I think that'll be good. I will say, like, when I sit back and think about it, I think a lot of people's like median expectations for Ayton on defense, and like there's nothing you could say to this. It's like we just got to see what happens. But I feel like a lot of people's median expectations are way higher than they realize. Like a lot of people are like, well, he could just be a good athlete and like he could be in position most of the time or whatever. And I do seriously worry about that. And I'm even more concerned about, it feels kind of precarious to me. It feels like there is a scenario where all of the engagement kind of like domino affects guys, where like if LeBron continues with like a weird contract year where we don't really know what is going to happen with him, if he becomes disengaged and a few other guys don't really live up to the hype, Jake LaRavia, who we haven't even talked about yet, if he is like a little bit underwhelming on that end, and then that carries over into Ayton being like a scapegoat. Like the media being like, Lakers are bad on defense. It's because nobody's backline protecting the rim. And JJ Redick, kind of how we saw him go at D'Angelo Russell in press conferences, goes at Ayton as well. I'm concerned all of that could culminate into Ayton being like, fuck this. People are being mean to me. I don't care anymore. And so that's like doomsday. Yeah.
There's a huge the floor isn't low. There's a singeing hole in the floor that leads to Mordor. Like there is the deepest hole you could imagine as the worst case scenario for this team. Like it could get bad in every way you said, like in terms of off the court stuff. But also, you mentioned LaRavia, but you mentioned him. I think he's good. I think he's a solid team defender, solid rotation passer, solid fit in with JJ Redick basketball off of Luka type of player for the bench. Marcus Smart, TBD on if he can stay healthy, if he can shoot it all. They're going to use him like a defensive wing, essentially, like more of a 2.5 guy rather than a point guard defender, which I think could be interesting in lineups where he goes out there and replaces Austin Reeves, and you kind of have a little bit bigger of a look where everyone's switching. That could be interesting to me. Jackson Hayes, notable bad guy. Wish he wasn't on my team. He still is a backup center, and even for regular season context at least, Luka did make him look passable in a lot of ways. So you could do worse for a backup center there. I just think they have enough of a floor in place that it's not really Deandre Ayton be a star or bust.
The thing with Deandre Ayton is he's very much a hypothetical guy, but he's separated from all the other hypothetical guys in that we actually have seen it happen, like over the course of an entire legit playoff run. And so it's not like, well, once Markelle gets his shot down or once this guy does that. Like we have seen good DeAndre Ayton tested at the highest possible level. And so that version should exist somewhere. And so if we were to get that version of him, that is like a legit game changer for this roster. And so defensively, that kind of ceiling is crazy. And then offensively, like you said, I hate his one-on-one game. He's next gen Vucevic. He doesn't draw any free throws because he like avoids physicality at the highest level. But he does have like some of the craziest touch of like any big man ever. And so I think that bodes well for, like you said, more of a supporting role, because he wasn't able to. The Portland situation is both bad and good because, like you said, not suited to bring out the best in him offensively at all. Like he's just not going to thrive in that situation. Defensively, he should have been able to thrive with all that infrastructure. Like it should have been easy for him to just hang back there and make an impact. But they were like clearly better without him. I think there's a ton of numbers that back that up. And so, but also you can also just. Yeah, that's the problem with this Lakers situation is you can like hand wave that away and be like, well, come on, it was a bad team. It was Portland. He's not going to care about Portland, but the bright lights of LA, and he'll have JJ Redick motivated. So it does make sense to have optimism, like and it is a possibility for him to be good on both ends. I think offensively, I do think the floor is pretty high, just by virtue being
Oh,
a
yeah.
role man playing with Luka. And then I do like the touch in coming in spots of just like hitting little floaters and stuff like that. And but
With bench lineups.
yeah, and so I am a Ayton doomer because I don't want to get hurt, but the ceiling is there. I see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, you go. You're the guest.
I was gonna say, shout out being the guest.
Hey, you get to go first.
I'm also intrigued by off-ball LeBron with the full season of planning for it. He like fully bought into that role. Like you can tell he fucking salivates to the idea of being able to be a corner sitter. Like he wants so badly to be able to coast off next to a superstar. He loved playing with Luka and bought in a lot of ways, especially defensively. In fact, like he held that defense together in so many ways, putting in insane effort for a 40-year-old.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't have to do that again. But I do buy that he's going to continue to know his place in the NBA at this point and know that he needs to shift and continue to do more and more big man stuff and move towards being this off-ball power forward next to Luka. That is, I think, point that's like a little bit under talked about in this whole offense thing. Like, yes, running pick and roll with Luka is going to be interesting with DeAndre Ayton. Also, when they run pick and roll with LeBron and DeAndre Ayton can camp in the dunker spot and short roll reads, like I feel like there's also really creative ways that him and LeBron can fit. That's two guys that, in theory, can be like pretty strong physical presence down low if they assert themselves. Obviously, one of the old ones. Any given day, who knows where he's at mentally?
That's such a Lakers thing, or such a LeBron thing to have happen, is be 45 and the 27-year-old like Adonis that you got on the waiver wire is like, I'm not trying today, and you have to just go full nuclear in like December.
Yeah,
It is nice though. They won't be like
creative path
fighting
there.
for real estate down there. Like DeAndre Ayton does stay out the way, so Luka and LeBron can just
Yeah.
drive like comfortably.
Yeah. So like, I do think there's a path that LeBron's specific abilities and his like post prime ways he's like buying into being more of a forward. I think that could also help Ayton a lot. And that there's so much focus on the Luka stuff, obviously. That I just think there's a lot of amplifiers that could help Ayton, even if he is like physically not what he was in 2021. Nobody talks about that. Maybe he's just getting older. Like maybe he doesn't have that in him anymore. Maybe he is soft as baby shit mentally, and that's just who he is. And he's not gonna. There's not gonna be any motivating factors.
They say he
can be
goons too
pretty
much
mid.
too.
Damn, I didn't
Is
know
that
that. I didn't-
true?
Yeah, I guess
Yo.
I think he's like a prolific Instagram DM slider, and also
Guys,
he does.
I didn't know that. I
I'm
didn't know that.
selling Ayton stock. That's just not. You need testosterone to dominate. In this league.
And that will be a problem in LA too. And he's also a prolific like stay up till 5 a.m. playing 2K guy. That's what I know about him.
Yeah. Not great. But there's a lot of force amplifiers here that I think even if he is mid and we get a very average version of Ayton, like there's enough people that will benefit from his presence that I think it could still make them worthwhile better while moving their former starting center to the bench and making him in a more of an adequate role to maybe be a positive as a backup center. And the biggest thing that we are talking about is I expected them to make a big trade this summer. It didn't happen. Nothing materialized. They still have the Mark Williams package that ultimately, like inevitably, something will become available at the deadline. And
I've been seeing
I can
a
imagine
lot
they'll be
of.
aggressive.
Well, okay, so I have two things here. The first, I do want to circle back. I feel like we've lasered in on Ayton, and I want to take a step back. Whole roster, do you feel like it got better defensively this offseason? Because
It's a hard
the
question 'cause the DFS
Dorian
thing.
Finney-Smith thing is like scary to me.
Yeah. I think DFS is an interesting topic because he was largely the most vital part of their defense last year when they did the small ball switch everything. Two, misunderstood and a little bit overrated as like a perimeter defender. People think he was out there just like the smack the ground perimeter defender guarding the best player on the field, on the court for Luka defending him. He's old. That's not his role. He's an incredible team defender and basically played small ball 5 for them a lot. That was incredibly valuable for what they're wanting to do. He's more of a team defender, 4-man that is a really smart part of your team that still is a good perimeter defender, but isn't like the difference between having someone that can go guard Steph Curry and not. So I think losing him is bad. I would prefer to keep him, obviously. To do that, LeBron would have to take a pay cut. They would have had to do all these other mechanisms that just wasn't in the cards for them that time. I do think DeAndre Ayton is of similar value to DFS, like big picture wise, if you get a good case scenario out of him. I think they probably stayed even in terms of overall defensive ability, but lost what is a very important piece for playoff basketball to check, and that will be the part that they need to address at the deadline.
Yeah, and so that my follow-up, I've been seeing Jason Timpf basketball tonight. He's been pushing an Andrew Wiggins trade a lot on my timeline. And so like you don't have to have like a specific guy in mind, but you mentioned you hope they're going to trade for somebody. A, would Wiggins be cool with you? B, do you have like a different guy in mind to kind of patch up everything?
I'm glad you say that. Not only do I have a specific guy in mind, it is Deandre Ayton. It is Andrew Wiggins. It is also Andrew Wiggins. Not only do I want to fix DeAndre Ayton, I'm a big I can fix him guy with NBA players. I'm a big optimist with players that are misunderstood. I'm constantly on the side of defending guys who have these like narratives attached to them that I don't think are based in reality. The narratives are based in reality for DeAndre Ayton and for Andrew Wiggins. But I do think we can fix them. I do think not only do I want one unmotivated athlete, I want two unmotivated athletes and hopefully get the best out of them.
You just buy on all that. You only need it to work once, and you're a genius.
Exactly.
Then everyone's, he's the guy he fixed DeAndre Ayton. He saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great fit. I think when you're in a team in a situation like the Lakers where you don't have the best assets long term, but you have to find a way to reload and compete around Luka every year, I'm all about buying low for guys that we've seen do it before and have been victims of circumstance for different reasons. Comparing Wiggins to Ayton's a little bit of a bad comparison just because so much of it was like obviously his personal life and so forth. But there is still motor concerns, Andrew Wiggins. Not to cut him too much bail. There is still times in which we know he's not like watch what happened with the Heat. That was not 100% motivated Andrew Wiggins compared to what we've seen in recent years. But I do think that'd be a great fit. I think you need someone that can be a tall, lengthy perimeter defender that can specifically defend on ball. I would love Wiggins there.
What would it just be? Do you think? I mean, Pat Riley's a fucking psychopath. That's like another thing in this equation that like you're not dealing with like regular guy here. You're dealing with like guy who thinks he can scam you. He thinks he's holding all the cards and he's holding one Andrew Wiggins, and so it's like a psychopath. You don't understand, but yeah. So like, do you think the Mark Williams package gets that done, or do you think would Hachimura be involved? I feel like.
For Wiggins, in terms of value, I don't think you'd have to get rid of Hachimura, but it's really tough with matching salaries with his current team right now. You maybe would have to include him because nobody wants
How much
Jared
is he
Vanderbilt.
making, Wiggins?
I think Wiggins is at 30 mil.
Wiggins, it's 28 mil this season and a 30 mil player option next year.
Yeah, so he makes that's honestly the hardest part. That's probably the reason they didn't make a trade for another big player is their books are just they don't have a lot of expensive players right now. The books are pretty healthy for free agency purposes, but for getting a premier player, it's kind of difficult unless you want to part with a guy like Rui, who I think they like and want to keep. But I think they have a much higher idea of Rui than I do personally. I think internally the Lakers fucking love Rui, and they view him as like a two-way, like very important starter for them. And I'm like, he could go tomorrow and I'll be fine.
Oh, I mean, I'm in the middle. I think he's like good, and I think
agree.
He's like the level of like most NBA teams would be happy to add him, and I think he can be like a positive guy. But I think the Lakers have him at like an important spot on the depth chart where he's just out of his league, and so it makes him seem bad. Yeah, I'm looking at their payroll
good,
now.
He's like good and he's impactful offensively. He's had some really good shooting spurts over multiple playoff runs in regular season. Pretty good cutter next to Luka. Like he does a lot well, but defensively as an off-ball defender, he's a goddamn disaster. And I think that gets overlooked because he dunks on somebody every 6 games, and it's awesome to watch that happen, and it's awesome to have a stretch forward that can really, really shoot. But if it was for someone like Andrew Wiggins that could do it, I think Andrew Wiggins would do a lot to fix the defensive issues. I would let him go in a heartbeat.
Yeah. He also gets. I feel like. Oh, you go, Pablo.
What is the Mark Williams package? What is the assets? 1 first
and a swap. I think it was 2029 first, and I think a 2031 swap. Plus Dalton Connect.
Are they able to trade 2032? Do you know?
I don't know. I think. Oh yes, they can now. They can trade 2 first now in a swap. I don't remember what year it was specifically because I think it's like it moves around. It's weird, but yeah, they can do 2 first and a swap. I believe.
Do you know about 2032?
Is that when the next Bryce Sensabaugh is in the draft class?
No,
it's
the
worse.
opposite. That's the year nobody's going to enter probably. So it's actually it's the most OP trade asset in basketball right now. Nobody's going to enter the 2032 draft. So you've got to trade the picks now because people don't realize it yet. So you're essentially trading.
Break this down for me.
The pick for nothing.
Give me the lore. Break this down.
Well, so you're aware of the concept of the double draft. Like it's been like for years they're like, one of these days there's going to be a high school, they're going to let guys come out of high school, and there's going to be a double draft that's the most stacked draft ever, and it's going to involve all the best high school guys and the guys who are already in college, so it's going to be like the most stacked draft ever. And then the draft is cyclical. It goes up and down all the time. Like, we have very high highs, very low lows. Like 2024, everyone was trash. And so theoretically, like, everything is possible. Like, there could be a year where everyone in the world enters the draft. Like, all three of us filed the paperwork and we entered the draft as well. This also implies the possibility that no one enters the draft. And so what I'm thinking that year is, like, a lot of people just forget, maybe. And then also just maybe there's other jobs that open up that are easier. Maybe the economy is recovering, and maybe and also maybe the NBA they get shut down for gambling or something, and maybe we're more fascist by 2032, and it's a more puritanical society, and basketball is seen as akin to the devil, and so people aren't willing to associate. There's a lot of possibilities, but right now there's just a lot of waves, a lot of like, and may or may not be in contact with a deep throat type figure, Nixon era, who's feeding me some info, non-confirmed, but just mostly a vibe check. So 2032, trade your pick now, because the guys who have 2032 picks are not getting anything out of it. That's why. Why do you think the Nuggets gave up their 2032 pick? They see this coming.
It was a fleece.
Every day, or most days, every week, I hear you say something, and I just wish I was that smart. You make me so jealous.
Yeah, you can. I mean, change your name to Pablo. We already talked about that's the key.
I gotta do something. You think of sentences I've never thought of before, and I aspire.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, what if Adam Silver, he really wants to put the smackdown on Steve Ballmer? He says, guys, you try to work around the salary cap. Nobody gets their 2032 draft pick. We're not just voiding your picks.
Oh.
Nobody gets them anymore. And
Shoot.
so it could, I don't know, collective punishment. I don't think those conventions apply to the NBA. So
NCAA lobbies Trump to declare illegal draft, like national emergency. Entering the NBA draft is illegal. Everyone's got to stay in college. Possibility.
What if we're ignoring the most possible outcome here?
Okay.
What if Trump via ICE bans the arrival of international draft prospects? And because of this, that's why the NBA is soft launching this international league they're starting, and all the prospects go to NBA Europe.
Damn.
That is true. We're not only are we getting NBA Europe, we're getting LeBron F1 type Europe basketball league. So theoretically, everyone could go there, because maybe the tariffs are out of control in the U.S. and an ear of corn is $3,000. So that could be a play too. I mean, as we explore it more, it's more. There's more options of this happening than there are not.
Now that you're saying, I'll be shocked if the Lakers don't relocate to Saudi Arabia. Now that I'm thinking about it,
I'll say it. If someone goes on stage and shakes the commissioner's hand in 2032, I will kill myself. I guarantee you that. That's how confident I am.
That's a Pablo Escobar guarantee, baby.
Guarantee.
Oh my god. Okay, where the
but
fuck?
I do want more trade talk though. So do you want?
Cool.
I'm already in. I've already mentally explored this. I want Austin Reeves gone. I just think there's a different, like, I do see the value of Austin Reeves, obviously, like having a third ball handler for these guys, and he's incredibly skilled offensively, but I do think packaging him with the rest of this stuff, I do think there are explorations of the roster that could have a higher ceiling. Are you into any big shakeups, or would you just be satisfied with the Williams package and getting like something on the exterior upgrade?
I probably lean that way, just because I worry. I worry if you trade Reeves and, well, obviously if you're getting like an all-star back, if you're getting like, I don't know, fucking Bam Adebayo becomes available or something like that, someone that's a long-term linchpin, then yeah, I would obviously do it. I'm not married to Reeves that like he has to stay no matter what, but I do find value in him being the secondary ball handler post LeBron. Assuming LeBron has next year and he's gone, let's just say that. I do think that having him be this like diet Kyrie into the Mavs in 2024 next to Luka as like the secondary ball handler that's not defensively a stopper or anything, but provides a good dynamic duo offensively next to him on and off ball. I do think he kind of serves a similar role there without LeBron in the picture. I think they'd play very similarly if they did have their version of PJ Washington, Derek Jones Jr., etc., just playing all-out Luka ball with the secondary ball handler. I think that's valuable to have Reeves in place for that era. But yeah, I'm very open to it if the right piece becomes available. But I'm not dying to do it. Like I don't view it as a necessity to win at the highest level. We got to move Reeves.
Guys, he said Austin.
But you tell me who's available.
He says that he's as good as Kyrie. That's what he said. You guys can quote him on that.
I'm constantly called a Kyrie hater, so there we go.
Aggregate that, guys. Go to Kyrie 8_24 on Twitter. Tag him in this clip right now.
They're all on Reddit.
Could we get a Rockets defender? Could we get a Rockets wing for Austin Reeves?
For Reeves?
Yeah.
Which one for a Rockets wing?
Would they do Tory? Like, let's say Tory underwhelms offensively again.
All the Giannis reporting to me says that they are not comfortable moving those guys because every Giannis Rockets report we got was like Bucks asked for Tari Eason, and the Rockets told him to go die. They don't want to give him up, and so
would you do that for the Lakers? Would you trade him for Tari?
If Reeves? I was the Lakers, would I trade Reeves for Tari?
Yeah, that feels
probably.
I love Tari Eason. That feels a notch below. Just because of what I think, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what his value is perceived around the league. Maybe Reeves isn't valuable because everybody understands small guards is like anti-meta now, and they're all pussy, and you don't want to have them on your roster. But I would think that Austin Reeves has a little more value than Tari Eason.
We are abnormally high on Tari Eason. He really hasn't. He hasn't proven that much. But I'm sure if we pull up, like in my mind, I'm like, well, this is literally Scottie Pippen defensively. So I forget that he's probably. Let me pull up. What did Tari Eason average last year? It was probably like
offensively, it's 7
points a game.
9 points, 4 rebounds. Maybe
9's too high.
37% from 3, I'd be blown away.
All right, he's at 12 points, 6 rebounds. Oh yeah, he's at 6 rebounds a game. That's huge. And he shot 34% from 3. On 3 attempts.
He's basically PJ Washington. Fuck it, let's bring him over.
Ooh.
Yeah,
no, I would love to have him. Hey, would they take a first and a swap in 2032?
No. Yeah, I don't know. Like, part of this to me, and I don't think like you, Isaac, are bad about this, and I certainly don't think like the GMs around the league are doing this right now. But I definitely think there's an aspect of like drafting a player and having them become good that kind of like gasses the value of some people. And so like maybe the vibe around, it's hard to, I wonder if the vibe around Reeves with GMs and with front offices is as good as it generally is with NBA fans, because I feel like NBA fans are very positive on Reeves. Do you feel like that?
A couple years ago, after I forget which year it was, he had a bad playoffs. Maybe it was one of the Nuggets years, obviously. I think it was a little bit low. But I think last year, it kind of bounced up a little bit. But then again, he had a bad playoff run, so I don't know.
Yeah, I really don't know. Because like I definitely understand the draw of the additional ball handler. And I think if you moved off of him, and that's like another aspect of this is we're also like balancing. You want to be competitive. The idea that you're going to have 3 players as good as Luka, LeBron, and Reeves on the roster again, it's not great. Like, this is an incredible trio of talent, but are you at all apprehensive in terms of I want to save for the full-on Luka era? If I could, like, you know, if we could be good right now, and then when it's like Luka's time to shine and we build the roster fully around him, are you like worried about maintaining that balance at all?
I kind of feel like we're in that era now. Like, people say that Luka's not 22. I mean, like, he's going to be 27 by the end of this regular season? He is at the peak of his powers for the most part. He'll probably be this good until he's, 33, 34? Like, we're in that window now. I think it's expected he signs an extension. I don't view it as like, we have 8 years with Luka in his prime. We can take all the time we need. I feel like with this caliber of player, you got to win now. So yeah. I've kind of viewed it as like, do everything you can to become a championship contender in the next 2 years.
Okay. That's fair. Pablo, where'd you go? You disappeared.
My laptop was about to die, so I had to scramble to find my charger.
Oh my god.
No, that's relatable. Guys, comment down below if your laptop's
Guys, comment down below what your battery percentage is right now. All right. Well, I feel like we've talked about it. The next question I have is just what player do you think is the biggest X factor to the Lakers' success this year? We've talked about a lot of them. Is there like one maybe that we haven't touched on, or one that you want to go more in depth on that jumps out to you?
Well, obviously it's Ayton. Let's take him out of the equation. You could, I mean, I'm not going to pick this answer. We don't got to dive into it. You could say Luka. If he's skinny, he's the best player in the world now.
Yeah.
Probably Marcus Smart, just because theoretically he solved so many problems for them if he was Marcus Smart of old. But he's been completely unavailable and completely non-tangible as an athlete over the past 2 years. So if they get lucky and get their Otto Porter Jr. for the 2022 Warriors and it's Marcus Smart, that could be big.
I'd be pissed. Oh my God. I would be disgusted if you got 70 games out of this one Marcus Smart run, baby. I don't know.
And he shoots 39% from three and brings it all together.
Yes.
That'd be pretty
it's
epic.
A career. Oh, I mean, I guess it'd be pretty epic if you're Hitler. Yeah. If you like that kind of stuff, then it'd be pretty epic.
Who would you rather have?
Even assuming... Go ahead.
Oh, who would you rather have at 100% if you could guarantee 100% for the season? Kleber or Marcus Smart?
Marcus Smart. Because, I mean, when you say 100% for Kleber, do you mean like what he was at his peak like 5 years ago?
Pretty
Or best case
solid
scenario this
rim
year?
protection and pretty solid floor spacing.
I don't give a shit about Kleber. No, so we're talking about what the package would be for these guys. Kleber. That's the start of it. Kleber and Gabe Vincent. That's our salary. No, if Kleber could be 2019 Kleber and I can get that, that'd be valuable. But even best case scenario for this year, he's been so cooked for so long that Marcus Smart, if you got DPOY level Marcus Smart, you got like gas DPOY that didn't deserve it, but still a great first team all NBA level defender, that would be pretty life changing for this team.
I feel like that's the same exact shit. I feel like you being like, well, if he could be 2019 Kleber, that'd be sick. But then, like, to me, those are like the same level of realistic.
Oh, for sure, yeah, 100%. That's why in this hypothetical where we're getting just like sprinkled with magic to get the best version, yeah, I'd pick Smart. But even for like what's tangible for 2025, if we get Marcus Smart for 50 games, playing 19 minutes a game, and he misses time, but he's healthy for the playoffs and continues to play 18, 19 minutes a game, and he can close games if the small guards are getting picked on, etc. And he has a competent three-point shot for this year and isn't asked to do much more than be a corner sitter that's a really good team defender as a pseudo wing type of defender that can do a little bit of screen navigation, but mostly defends 2 threes and defends up in size. That could be pretty impactful for the team, I think.
Yeah.
I'll give
Maybe.
you
I'm imagining him like guarding Jaylen Brown if they played the Celtics or something like that. Like he could be that type of guy.
Hey, I'll give you secret X factor. Adu Thero. Was he their first round pick or was he a second round pick? But
second round pick.
He's a little bit Marcus Smarty in terms of like very tenacious defender. He's bigger though. Obviously he'll be a rookie, so he probably won't be that good. But he's very athletic, very and kind of versatile. And like you could see him doing a lot more off closeouts. The question would be shooting, obviously, but what if he had his Ryan Dunn type? Bizarro 3-point shooting year. Guys, write that down.
You mean Bizarro 3-point shooting month for Ryan Dunn as a rookie in preseason? We're shooting 40%.
Guys,
don't check his averages from the actual year.
Guys, the averages were still well above what was expected for him. He was supposed to be like 16. It's canon.
When you shoot like 48 for the first month or whatever, as it goes down, it still looks good. Like by month 3, we're at like 40. Well, he's only at 41.
That's one I really do hate that when like a guy you like is popping off at the beginning and you go back like week by week and it's like this shit's just going. And so like you check in and he's averaging 25 and 5 on like 60% true shooting, but the first week he was like 35 on 70% true shooting. And so
the first month of the 23-24 season, Scotty Barnes will forever haunt me because I fully bought in. He was shooting 40% from 3 and looked like a top 20 player in the world, and I bought it.
Hold the stock. It's coming back, please. Yeah. Do you guys think Bronny could be a role player this year?
Here's the thing. Yes.
I'm kind of selling myself on it. Like I don't think it's that insane.
I have a hard time deciding if it's just pure fandom I want to see happen for the storyline or if I really believe it. But I do really feel like people undersell him and like it's so easy to because obviously he came in the league so raw and the special circumstance of his college career and the fact that he's LeBron and the nepotism of it all. Like it's super easy to be like he sucks. But I do feel like there's a world where he becomes a very competent backup offensive player that's like people always say D'Anthony Melton or Gabe Vincent, etc. Like, I do feel like that's very in the cards, and I just feel a piece of me in the back of my head that's like, you don't really believe that. You're just wanting it to be happening because it's cool.
It's me,
I don't
Isaac.
know.
It's me, Bronny. I'll be good. I swear to God.
I have no idea if it's biased or if I really, really feel that way evaluating him, watching him in Summer League and watching him in the G League, etc. But I do agree with you.
Pablo, what do you think about Bronny?
Awfully small. No, but
exactly, pretty small.
But he's a great athlete. He's a fake small guard. When you're that good at jumping and
he's
that strong,
he's a layup line athlete.
You're technically 6'5" when you can jump like that.
He has to be like a genius level defender, like a really, really high IQ, which we don't know if us can develop because he's so small. And like the whole idea of him being this like defender is pretty much wish casting because we haven't like seen him clamp or anything. It's just like, by nature of not being good offensively, it's like, oh, but he can play defense though. So
that's what every bad athlete gets typecast as. I feel like if you have a guy who, like me with Peyton Watson, going on year 4 of this shit, I'm like, dude,
he can block shots.
He's a great help side rim protector. He's a crazy athlete. He shoots 40% at the rim. That's his problem. Yeah. But I don't know. I do feel like Gabe Vincent's not that crazy of a bar. Like there is a world where it happens this season, and so I don't know.
He's
That's
pretty much useless at this point. Like what's the last basketball we've seen Gabe Vincent play? Like it was how many years ago was his big playoffs?
Miami, that's 2023, I think. Because we've got him for 2 years. So the 24 playoffs, I guess.
Yeah.
So 10 years in my mind, though.
Yeah.
10 years. Okay. So Pablo experiences dog years. So we gathered that from this episode.
Yep, because I'm a dog. Ruff, ruff.
Hey.
Was that cool, guys? Comment down below.
Did you or let me know 1 to 10?
Did you see did you see the clip of Carmelo's Hall of Fame speech where the dog barked?
No.
I don't know if it was edited or not, like because he was just speaking, and then there was dogs barking, and then he's like, "That's the dogs barking." And everyone started applauding, and I don't know if that was edited or not. I don't know, because why would a dog be at the Hall of Fame speech? But maybe.
My bigger question is, did they plant that? Sounds like it's real. If he said that at a speech, did they plant dogs? Is he oil farming?
Pablo Tory, could I get you on the horn for a second?
No, he's too busy. He's too busy getting Jalen Brunson in prison, dude. Come on.
Okay. We did biggest X Factor. We did all this shit. Who do you think will win the 26 NBA championship, Isaac?
Well, going on 2 years, this will be the 3rd year of being a massive Thunder Glazer. I feel obligated to say the dynasty will be formed, that they will win again. I do think there's an outside chance that the Cavs are the champions, just because the conference is so wide open, and I think they'll probably be in the finals. And I think there's so much like writing them off after such a disaster in the playoffs that I think was pretty like excusable contextually if we really feel the need to like cut them bail and not just slander them. So by the nature of I think they'll be in the finals, Cavs have a chance. But I feel no reason not to pick the Thunder again.
Okay. I'm seeing Jokic disassembly line. He kills Wemby, he kills Chet, and then he kills Mobley all in the same playoff run.
Here's the thing. I really, really love no longer having to think about Michael Porter Jr. as a part of your franchise. I wonder if that's more off the court than on the court, and it'll be like an upgrade, but not like life-changing. And I do think Jonas Valanciunas is terrible. And I won't pretend that he's no longer terrible.
To me, that's worse than the Ayton stuff. Is people being like, "We got a warm body behind Jokic," and it's like
it's so much worse.
I
guess,
warm
warm body, he's bad, like actively harmful, and he has been for years.
Like in January, fine, but like if he's seeing the court against like Hartenstein or somebody, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Shea would kill him. It would be embarrassing.
Yeah. I don't know. I think the Michael Porter Jr. thing, it is dope. It's sick. And like, I think a lot of it is just it's been years since he was like a real consistent plus for a full playoff run, and that's kind of what it boils down to at this point. Is like you can be this really sick idea next to Jokic, but if I could have you or a guy who's like, lateral move and 4 other players instead of paying you $50 million, that's probably what I'm going to do. Thunder are the safe pick.
Do we feel like, what's the this feels like the year where it's hardest to convince yourself anybody other than the favorite. Like, obviously, there's teams you can pick. It's not impossible. But, like, the Rockets are the second best team in the West. There's obviously a lot of question marks still there. Are we going to get a better offensive output from Sengun now that he has less responsibility with KD in there?
He's making jumpers in Europe. I'm seeing it.
Yeah. If that comes around, then it's scary hours. But, like, right now, last year he didn't make layups at any rate that was close enough to being adequate to be a main engine as an offensive team. And you're right. It was a hard situation. KD's going to help that. Is Amen Thompson going to, like, make an offensive leap that is assumed? I hope so. I love him. Still got to see it because there's a lot of weaknesses when you come around. There's just so many question marks there that I'm not going to say they're going to rival the Thunder. The Nuggets are probably the best answer as having a chance just because Jokic is the literal GOAT. And in the East, is there a single team that you look at now after disassembly of the conference that you feel like has a chance?
No, not really. I mean, like at every turn with the Pacers, even in that series, I was like, what is another miracle going to happen? Guys, their luck's run out. I think this is over in 6. And then all that shit just went. And
all the warts that OKC had are going to get better now over time, you would assume. Chet is going to have a summer to do squats and no longer have the shittiest lower body in the NBA where you can't jump. Like, he will be in a better physical suit to be able to literally jump again. Like, he looked so much worse physically last year. That'll be helping. Obviously, they're going to have Topic, whatever that does for their backup point guard woes. Like, they continue to get better. And you know, despite this being per shams the craziest offseason in NBA history, there wasn't very many seismic moves that are going to burst new contenders. And I don't really see any like looming guys that are going to like make a team a contender in terms of young guys, unless you're buying on Pablo fixing his playmaking stuff and finishing at the rim more, and Franz Wagner learning how to shoot. Like, if you think the Magic are going to make a leap, or if Asar Thompson's a star and Cade has a supporting cast, like, I don't see it outside of maybe another Mobley leap. I don't see a surprise contender coming.
Yeah. If the Magic were in the finals, I would not. I mean, that would blow me away. Much less if they, much less if they had a competitive series. Like, if Paolo gets that much better in one off season that he can like take the Thunder to like 6 games, I would. Hey, I'll buy his jersey. What can I say?
Facts. I'll get a tattoo of Paolo if they beat the Thunder in the finals.
I don't know.
Maybe Wemby could be the impetus of a new contender, but that's hard to predict this year.
They sabotaged him already going into it with the roster. So I don't know if
all the guards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Thunder. Oh, I was gonna say it's also crazy that like they won the championship and J-Dub had surgery on his shooting hand like 3 weeks later, and so like that's just another thing on the pile where it's like, okay, that's like a secret break that every Thunder opponent got that we didn't even know about, and it still didn't end up mattering that much. Yeah, so they're a good pick. Pablo, do you have any final thoughts?
Yes. I don't think we've talked LeBron enough.
Let's do it.
We haven't. Good point.
Thank you, everybody. Guys, comment down below if that was a really good point by me. Number one, do you think will he still be a top 10 player next year? Is this finally the fall off, or do you think it'll still be good?
I think I ranked him at 11 last year.
Do you think he'll still be a top 11 player next year?
Oh, shit.
But to your point, is he still like in contention for top 15, that type of like upper tier all-star?
And like when he plays well, is like have you ever seen My Hero Academia?
No, but I'm familiar with the concepts.
Yeah, can he still have his super strength moments, like where peak LeBron comes out? Because really that's where he's at, right? Like I guess some area like the defensive peak isn't as high, but like the peak just comes out a little bit less. But he's still an incredible player.
I think he fell off meaningfully last year. He can't run fast anymore, really at all, with the ball in his hands. He can't really be a creator on ball. The lineups with him in it, where he's the lone offensive creator with role players, have been pretty garbage for a long time offensively. He just can't consistently create enough rim pressure to do what he once did, and I don't think should be relied upon as like the sole creator in lineups. That's why they stagger him with Reeves a lot. So I kind of think that's the biggest fall that could have happened, and it's already happened. And now he doesn't really jump high anymore. He doesn't run fast anymore. He doesn't have the athletic gifts he once did. It's all strength based and IQ based. I kind of feel like this is going to be who he is until he retires, because I think he's already like reached the I'm zapped of all athleticism point. So yes, if we do still feel like he's top 15, I think he'll probably be top 15 for this year and probably one more year after that.
And then next would be, is this the year the LeBron being traded smoke, or LeBron moving on from the Lakers is finally real? Because there's been a lot of talk about it. Do you buy into it, or is it typical LeBron nonsense?
Is LeBron yapping again? Is he flapping them jaws? I don't know. What do you? It felt kind of real this time ago around this summer. I felt like if certain conversations would have gone ways that weren't comfortable with Rich Paul, like I feel like he could have been traded this year. What did you think?
I thought so. I don't know. Like, to me, this was like the most we've gotten of Shams just clearly being like, just got off the phone with Rich Paul. LeBron's pissed right now.
Yeah.
And so, like, I do feel like there was it's like if it was like a few years back, a few years earlier, LeBron, like a more athletic version of him, then like we just missed the cutoff for one season on his contract kind of mattering now. I feel like he was the level of player that a lot of contenders would have been like, I don't give a fuck what happens. We're moving for him, and we're getting this one season like a real shot at the title. But now it's to the point where like you need to have the infrastructure in place to support him. He needs to play like a certain way. He's not like a one kind of play style guy, but you need to have certain shit in place. And to do so, if you're like a team that's kind of on the come up, it would cost you like a lot of your potential future, the ceiling. Like you would have to move on from young guys who could potentially be really good in like 3 years or whatever. And so I feel like if the Lakers are... Okay, let me paint you two pictures. Lakers are like 500
Okay,
for
wait,
40
my eyes
games.
are closed for this first one.
Same.
Lakers are like 500 through 40 games. And in a Western Conference where that's not very good. You're probably going to be firmly in the play tournament at that point.
Not a great picture. Not at the Louvre. Not even at the Chicago Art Museum, bro.
That's a great art.
Hey, it's a great museum.
Don't go dissing the Chicago Art Museum. That's where they go in Ferris
I think it's better than the Met.
Okay, based. Little New York shots. And the alternative to this 500 picture is things are going very poorly. Do you feel like at 500 will there be real smoke around LeBron getting traded, or do you think that's something they'll try to salvage? And then in like a disaster scenario where they're like fighting for the 10 seed, do you feel like it's almost a certainty that those conversations will arise?
Gotcha. I think if LeBron gets traded, it's more about relationships.
Okay.
I think, and it's more about
Game
like,
of
PR
Thrones style. All right.
I don't think he wants to get traded because the team sucks. I don't think we want to get to a point where the team's bad and they're like, oh, we don't need LeBron anymore. Punt him. He's not helping us win. That would be very bad for his PR. That'd be a pretty shitty way to end your last chapter in terms of your storytelling, which would not go well for the 20-year doc he's been filming. So I don't think he wants that. I think if he was going to get traded, it would have been a month and a half ago or whatever it was. And I think it was as best of a chance as you could have had, given them moving to the Luka era. It would have been a good storyline to be like, oh, well, they don't care about me. They don't need me anymore. Let me go win somewhere now. I think if the Mavs had one more bloated, shitty contract on the roster that they could put in instead of all their depth, I think Klay Thompson and PJ Washington might be playing for the Lakers right now. Like, that was as good of an opportunity as you could possibly hope for. I think the only way he's traded is if it's in the summer. I think an in-season trade is like, for all the reasons you said before too, with the money and like his age and like whether or not teams want that or not, and blowing up the roster is one part of it. And just if it happens, it's because he asked for it, and I don't think he'll ask for it when it's such a PR stain.
Yeah, that's true. I would love to run into a guy who still thinks LeBron doesn't care about all that stuff, because like there are certain, they're like, well, I mean, what you think he's gonna do what's best for his career? You think he cares about the storyline of it? And it's like, yeah.
But he has a 1-year deal though, so I think he could walk in free agency next year. Which, if you're the Lakers, you don't want that to happen. So like, it wouldn't surprise me if they like looked for trades. Maybe actually no, it would surprise me because you don't trade LeBron unless he asks for it. That's like the looming rule of it all. You just can't do that. But if that wasn't a rule that was looming, it would be smart to move him at the deadline if you're disappointed, like you said.
So what does that do for his trade value? Because
makes it zero.
Well, that's $48 million expiring. That itself is valuable, right? Plus is LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if the Lakers want bad contracts, yeah. But they've made this like weird. It's not necessarily weird, I should say, but I think a little ambitious play for 2026 free agency. all they talk about is when they don't make moves. Rob Pelinka finds his nearest reporter and says, "We're keeping the books clean for 2026 and 2027. We're going to sign Bam Adebayo," and all this plans for free agency. So I don't think they want to take on long-term money in a type of expiring deal.
Well, what is there any young guys? Or wait, Jack, you were going to say something.
No, I'm looking. I have the 27 and 26 free agent classes up in front of me. So you talk about whatever. I was just looking.
So are there any who's theoretically the best young guy that you could put a package around? Like the first guy I'll throw out, Jarrett Allen. Is there any way that would that make sense to you for either side if there was like some kind of LeBron Jarrett Allen trade?
I'm glad you mentioned Jarrett Allen. I was saying for weeks I would love to trade LeBron for Jarrett Allen. When there was the talks about the Cavs, I was like,
okay.
If we could get Jarrett Allen for 40-year-old LeBron James, that would be the greatest life raft the Lakers could ever imagine for Luka Doncic. That would be the perfect center for him. I would fucking do a backflip. I don't know how to do that, but I would learn just to do it on a podcast when I got Jarrett Allen to pair with Luka Doncic for the next 5 years. Would the Cavs do that? Absolutely the fuck not.
Really? I would do that if I'm the Cavs.
I think the whole idea was largely met by "you're insane" from Cavs fans, at least, just because LeBron is so old, and I don't know what your vibe is about Jarrett Allen right now, given the whole like playoff wimp narrative around him. Mm-hmm. I think he's exceptional, and I think the Cavs probably still value him highly. The only way I could see them wanting to ship him out is that they just want to go Mobley at center, and I still feel like if they were to do that, they probably wouldn't go for 40-year-old LeBron James.
I don't think he's a wimp, but I like.
But you think he's a girl?
No. I think he's a manly man, but I think he's just as schemable in a playoff defense. There's been moments on defense in the playoffs where Tyrese Halliburton's like, perfect. I have this big dumbass guarding me. Let me get to the rim, baby. And I feel like. Since he's like really good at specific aspects of defense, that kind of goes under the radar a little bit more, as opposed to somebody like Garland, who is just like, small, the classic small guard example for us. But yeah, if I'm the Cavs and like I get a respectable offer for Jarrett Allen, I'm also like so pro Mobley at center camp. I feel like that's like a potential. I don't want to say MVP leap waiting to happen, but like I do feel like that's just like a clear statistical boost with the team remaining really good. Like I feel like if Allen was gone and Mobley was full-time big man, the construction of the team changes for sure. Like maybe you lose some of the stuff you get with two great rim protecting bigs, but I think Mobley's like a 25, 26 point per game scorer while being like an incredible, like all world defender still. Like I think he's so good.
They gotta wait. They got to wait it out for 14 more months until the Magic inevitably crash and burn and trade Franz Wagner. Because when we pair Franz Wagner with Evan Mobley and whichever one of the small guards is left after this big blow-up is going to happen, and we ship Jarrett Allen out, we ship aging Donovan Mitchell out, and we have Darius Garland, Franz Wagner, Evan Mobley, that's when we enter the real Matrix.
This is the NBA Twitter Virgin team we're putting together. This is every player that NBA Twitter guys are like, yep. Once we get him into the right situation, Darius Garland's literally Steve Nash. He's being held back by Donovan Mitchell.
I can fix him.
Oh my god.
The Cavs with me are another one of these. It's the same with Tari Eason, where like I'm so far ahead in my mind of what I've thought about them that I forget what the real world values them. So I'm at a point where I'm like, Garland and Allen have to be out. Like it's over. Like both of these guys have to be moved for this team to do anything. So I would be very happy to trade to get LeBron for him. Although salary wise, it is looking like they would have to do DeAndre Hunter and Jarrett Allen at the very
Allen's
least,
contract is like. It's like 20 mil flat, I'm pretty sure.
20 mil, and so Hunter's making 23. That gets you like.
And I think LeBron is a trade kicker. That was like part of the talks of it.
Son of a bitch.
There was some environment where they'd have to trade potentially Garland and Allen, not both of the Lakers, but like part of a 3-team deal where they both go out and you like bring in a smaller salary for one of them.
God,
LeBron,
good lord, a trade. You're 45. Oh my god. Hey, good for him for getting his money.
If he would have took a pay cut, we could have kept DFS.
Hey,
what about Claxton? 25. Would you accept Claxton for LeBron?
Oh no, I would accept Claxton for the Mark Williams package. That is my another prime trade target.
Honestly, his value has fallen. I wonder if you could pull that off.
No, he's the one that I referenced as the most realistic. I think they very much like, depending on how the net season goes, if they lean towards tank with their 17 point guards, I think that could be a very realistic target. Especially with how much JJ Redick loves switching. He has a fetish for switching. I think Nick Claxton would be a great fit.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much all I got for you today. Pablo, do you have questions? Anything looming in your brain?
One last trade. I'm looking at the Pelicans roster. Is there anyone we could? Would they actually? They probably don't do anything. I mean, actually, Joe Dumars is an idiot, like to the highest.
Joe
degree,
Dumbass.
So
that's what they call him.
There's no way. Like we can't rule anything out.
What if Joe Dumars offers Zion for LeBron 1-for-1? Let's say it was mathematically possible. Who says no?
The Pelicans would say yes. I feel like
to get off the long-term money.
Yeah, because I think they're just done with him. They're like, this is another gooner, and like he's hurt all the time,
certified,
and and I feel like I think the Lakers might say no because I don't know. JJ never has talked very glowingly about Zion. Like I remember it surprising me, like going back, like even when he was a prospect coming out of college, I always got the vibe that JJ wasn't like super into him. And
really, I don't remember.
Probably because he probably knew some of the stuff behind the scenes, and we also still don't know if we don't know the result of the accusations that Zion is a rapist hitman, which very very well could be true. So that could muck
There's
up the
a hitman
water.
element to that.
Yeah, he's the woman said that he told her that he'll have his bodyguard kill her family, and I think kill her too or something. Like he's like,
I have just learned that I
know
do not
where
know
you
nearly
live.
all the details. I don't know nearly all the details of this allegation. That is what the fuck.
It's crazy stuff. Zion claims that he has reported her to the police in the past for like this is an unhinged person who's making up stuff about him. So I don't know what the
is this
results
still
would be.
like. Is this still like in the balance, or has it been pushed aside? I don't even like. I haven't heard about it in so long.
Yeah, I haven't heard in months if there's been any update. But like
last I saw, the internet had like decided she's a liar, which is always like a dubious thing to believe.
They're
So,
always
like,
gonna. It could be the worst player in the end. I mean, I'm sure there's Lakers fans who are like Jackson Hayes. They're lying about Jackson Hayes. They're always trying to bring a good man down. It's like there are tons of guys who become fans of athletes because they're predators.
Kevin
like
Porter
one
Jr.
beers or
is like
something.
that. I feel like he was like it's like a right wing grift, like a pivot to the right wing, except you just like ruin somebody's life. Also, it's like like you gain this huge support of people being like, oh. Like that guy who spammed us with the plus minus shit in the comments that one time because we said Kevin. I could not believe that dude.
We were talking bad about Kevin Porter Jr. and a guy's like, these guys are obviously holding the overblown off the court issue against him. And they obviously aren't keeping up with the stats. Kevin Porter Jr. was very good for 1-2 month stretch. They probably are doubting it because he was bad in the playoffs and because he was bad for his entire career before that. It's like, how is Kevin Porter Jr. demanding this? How does he have? It's the same thing with Kamala. I'm like, how are there still Kamala stands 9 months later? How are there still Kevin Porter Jr. stands? You got to be demented.
That's a funny comparison. You might be cooking with that because both are like their fan base is in response to like a phenomena they hate. Obviously, the liberals, they hate Trump so much that they feel like the Democrats are their saviors, which they obviously are not. So they're like, Kamala Harris is our girl boss that would have delivered us to utopia, when obviously she's not. And then, the Kevin Porter stuff, it's all these guys that are like, the world hates men and I love men. We got to band behind Kevin Porter Jr. because we rock.
I just imagine that headspace of being like, the world is in. I'm that kind of guy. I know. Kevin Porter Jr. could be any of us. He could be anyone.
That could be me on any Tuesday. That might be me.
I have a 17-year-old little brother who's a junior in high school, and every day I wake up in fucking Dwayne Wade in that commercial where he has a dream. I have fears I'll turn to that guy, and I'm like, how embarrassing that'll be.
Oh my god, what a disaster, guys! If your little brother likes Kevin Porter Jr.,
punch him in the face.
Yeah, fucking beat his ass. Yeah. And if he beats your ass, get in the gym. I guess you got to be able to fucking take him, dude.
Get a sword. Don't get in the gym. Get a sword. Play unfair. It looks like Herb Jones only makes $13 million, so that dream is kind of over for
Herb Jones is like a Austin Reeves dream, I think.
Oh,
If
do you
guys,
would you?
Okay.
That's
If you
that's
had
the
the
popularly
chance,
debated one.
would you?
If he comes out and he shoots really well again, that's like real, which I think it is. But like, if we see another season and he's like a certified shooter and he's once again elite level defender, I think he has enough more years. That I think that type of archetype of physical defender only has like such a shelf life of being that level defender while they're young. I think he probably has. If he does come back next year, it looks like he did 2 years ago. What does he have? 3 more years probably of being like top end defender. I'd probably do that.
This is such a Lakers-centric discussion because we're like, would the Lakers consider that? Meanwhile, it would be adding Austin Reeves to a team that has Jordan Poole, Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen, DeJounte Murray.
Hey, that's like Austin Reeves is like the most portable guy they would have added in like the last 24 months, probably. Like
That's a ridiculous roster, bro.
Yeah, Herb Jones is definitely one of those guys where I'm just like he's like the Tory Eason for me, but his contract even factors into it a little bit. Where like it's like 1-to-1 Austin Reeves for Herb Jones, and in my stomach I'm like, oh my God, Reeves for Herb Jones, but it's because like Herb is like this crazy value guy, where it's like $10 million a year, you get All NBA first team, and he shoots 40% from 3. But Austin Reeves is like just much
Similar
better as a
circumstance.
player. Yeah.
Yeah. Also very cheap.
Yeah. I mean, that's like to the detriment of the Lakers.
Hey.
Almost. If he was making more money, you'd probably be able to like, I don't know, fabricate more moves.
Well, they're gonna extend him this next summer. He'll be get paid.
Little sus how little Austin Reeves was being paid, right? I wonder if Pablo Tory needs to find out anything about this.
I love that we're implying that the Bus family is 1, breaded enough to cheat, and 2, smart enough and creative enough to cheat. I have little doubts about both. I have lots of doubts about both.
Man,
They were taking PPP loans because they were broke during COVID.
that went to. Where'd that money go? What if it went to Austin Reeves? What if there's a laundromat gifted to Austin Reeves? I don't know. Tap in.
Anthony Davis has a TV show about pranks. Nobody's watched it.
Nobody. Okay. See, I was going to say Anthony Davis pranks Austin Reeves, sets him up for white collar crime. He goes away for 20 years. Yeah. Okay. That's it. That's the fucking Lakers preview, guys. So if you like it, comment. If you don't, shut your bitch ass up.
Go get a sword if you don't see me.
Yeah. Pablo, do you have any final thoughts?
No, Isaac, promote whatever.
Oh shit! Promo
You're
your
an
stuff.
NFL
You're NFL
guy now.
Yeah,
You're a trader.
football
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. Cross-sport loser. I know. Like he wants to do it all. Ambitious, huh? Yeah. Check out House Call, our new football show. Got a football helmet on. I mean, football hat. I said helmet. Jesus Christ.
Bro thinks he's on the team.
Oh, never mind. I don't want to promote anything.
Okay, great. All right, David Robinson, take it away.
Up tempo means I'm gonna run you into the ground.